It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, all day today.
All day. And so it's bonus feature footage day.
Yes.
Which is just an additional, more application-based conversation to attach to our Sunday experience.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry spoke.
He nailed it.
So good. So we are week 2 in our series called Renew, based on Craig Groeschel's book, Winning the War in Your Mind. And so for our application this week, you saw something that could be a good visual representation to go along with this.
Yeah, so Craig Groeschel talks about these neural pathways in our brains. So if we tell ourselves a lie and we keep walking back and forth across it, we entrench that lie in our brain. And same when we tell ourselves the truth. We create that pathway, we keep going back and forth across it, we entrench it. So I saw this field right here in the middle of our city with this big tall grass everywhere and a well-worn walking path right in the middle of it. So here's a picture for those of you at home. You can see it. And it is just this place where people have walking back and forth over this thing so much, like it wasn't cut in there by a lawnmower. It was just made by walking. They walked it so much, it just became a well-worn, defined pathway. Then now people just default to taking it to cross that field. And I thought, that's pretty cool. It's kind of just like the thing Craig Groeschel talked about. So there is an illustration of this whole thing right in the middle of our wonderful city.
And now every time all of us walk by a field and see a worn path, we're going to think about this.
We will for sure.
So last week, we talked about the importance of identifying the lie.
Yes.
And the lie is often like that path. We walk it so often. We tell ourselves the lie so many times that it just becomes the normal thing that we think about. And we almost sometimes believe it to be the truth. Mm-hmm. But that lie didn't just come there. It's not like we go out saying, like, I want to tell myself a lie today. And this is the lie I'm going to tell myself, and I'm just going to keep walking it. It's always rooted in something and from someplace, whether it be an experience in childhood or whether it be someone said something to you and you started to believe it, or whether it be your status and that has impacted the lie. But these lies that we tell ourselves are often rooted in something, and that's important to identify.
So we've all got these lies we tell ourselves. They come from somewhere, and it's one thing to recognize it, but if we don't get to the root of it, where did it come from, and actually do some work on the root of it, we'll always have the problem. So one of the things we'd like to encourage people to do today, or whenever, tomorrow and the next day, whenever, take some time to go off on your own. And last week you've kind of identified some of the lies that you tell yourself, but now take that extra step to ask yourself, can you remember the first time that you told yourself that? Or can you remember the first season of your life when you started to tell yourself that? And really drive into that place so you can identify the root of it. And then you can really start to do some solid work in terms of why you keep telling yourself that. Because if you can change the root of the thing, you can probably change the thing. And of course, we always believe that God's going to help you in this process. God is a massive part of this process. And Craig Groeschel says in the book, he's like, if the branch is causing you a problem on a tree and you just cut the branch off, but the tree still exists, you've still got a problem. Mm-hmm. So that is a really solid exercise for people to do this week that roots into what Barry said about how do you rewire your brain. It starts with getting to the root of the thing.
And getting to the root of it, at least for me, as I go through this type of exercise, is I always ask myself why. So I capture a thought and then I'm like, why? Like, why is that the thought, or what is going on there? And then it takes me a step deeper and a step deeper and a step deeper. And I had a situation probably about a month and a half ago where I caught myself telling a lie to myself. And I was like, okay, this is a lie. You know that. Work through it. And that lie took me about 60 seconds to work through because I've identified it before, got it. But I was like, but what's going on beyond that? And so then I found a deeper root of that lie. And it took me probably about an hour to work through that one, to kind of get through what is going on beyond this. How do I then work myself through it? And then after I got through that one, I actually found an even deeper lie. And that one probably took me about 24 hours to actually wrestle through and identify as, okay, this is deep and this is going to impact a lot of my life if I don't identify what this is.
Yep.
So as we go through this process of identifying the lie and then asking ourselves why and why and why and taking it deeper, it's actually going to take more time each step of the way because you're getting so deep into what you need to identify. But the deeper you get, the more you can pull the full root out rather than, as you said, and as Craig said, just cutting off a simple branch.
Yep, I agree. So there's some big time work for us all to do here. So we're going to leave people with that today. I think there's a lot to chew on, and we're going to keep doing this together, and we can't wait to come back again. This coming weekend, we've got more great stuff to jump into, so we hope that whoever's watching this, you're going to join us again this coming weekend right here at North Park Huron. Have a good week winning the war in your mind.